Hi, and welcome back to Karen on the Camino. Today's video is going to focus on which route I'm going to take and when I'll go and why. So there are actually many routes that lead to Santiago de Compostela, which is said to hold the remains of St. James, one of Jesus's apostles. You can take it from Portugal. You can take it, I think there are a few that lead from Spain. The one I'm taking is called the Camino Francais, or the French way. Now, why is it called the French way if we're going to end up in Spain? Well, you actually start from a town called Saint-Port-de-Pied, I keep getting them mixed up, which is in southern France. And from there you go over the Pyrenees into Spain, and then head all the way to Camino de Compostela, which is near the Atlantic coast. And that's where all of the Caminos end. All of them, Camino is Spanish, I almost said French, Spanish for way. So all of these ways lead to Santiago de Compostela. All of the routes are UNESCO designated for their rich history, and the route that I'm taking is no different. So it does go across the Pyrenees. And anybody who knows me knows I just love the mountains. Alpine environment is my thing. And then it goes through many different towns like Pamplona. So when you think of running with the bulls, that's Pamplona. It goes through Burgos and León and Puente de la Reina and a number of other towns. Lots of cathedrals, lots of places to visit. So I'm super, super excited just to be immersed in all this culture and all this history. I've never been to Spain before, so this will be a first for me, and I'm really, really excited. The Camino itself is about 790 kilometers, which equates to roughly 490 miles. You can do it as fast or as slow as you want. I have time. I'm figuring on about 40 days / 6 weeks. That'll give me enough time to go to fairly, not a leisurely pace, but not a crazy one either. So between 20 to 25 kilometers per day. 20 kilometers is about 12 and a half miles, and 25 kilometers is about 15 and a half miles. So somewhere in that range is what I'll be hiking every day with my full pack. Again, why the Camino? Well, from what I've read, it's the most popular. About 50% of all the pilgrims end up on this route, and for good reason. There's lots of people there, so if you're by yourself, you don't have to worry about doing this whole thing by yourself if you don't want to. You can meet up with plenty of people along the way, you can make lots of new friends. You can also go by yourself if you want to. The other reason it's so popular is because there's a well-developed infrastructure. So there's lots of albergues and hostales and hotels, from really basic, where maybe you're even sleeping in a church, to the most luxurious. And so you have all price ranges. I'll be doing the budget route. Let's see, what else did I want to say about the Camino? From Santiago de Compostela, you also have the option of continuing to the coast to Finisterre, and that is supposed to be the ultimate end of the Camino. And I am planning on doing that, which I can do as long as I've allowed enough time to do that. In terms of when I'm going, I looked into that, and the summers in Spain are supposed to be brutally hot. I don't like heat. It's also very crowded because Europeans get their vacations during July and August, so prices go up, accommodations fill up. I don't want to do that. I won't need to do that. Winter isn't going to work because there'll be snow in the Pyrenees, and I'm definitely not doing any alpine crossings through the snow and ice and all that. So that leaves spring and autumn. Now, springtime is supposed to be absolutely gorgeous with wildflowers and everything coming to life and blossoming, but it's also not as dependable in terms of rain, and it could be a little warmer. So based on what I've read, it seemed like late September into October is the best. The weather seems to be the most stable. Most, if not all, of the accommodations are still open. There'll still be people. In fact, it's becoming more popular for people to go in the autumn. So I won't have to worry about making reservations or anything. I'll be able to just go on the fly depending on how far I want to travel and how well I'm feeling. And the other thing about the autumn is that you still have plenty of daylight left, whereas in the winter, daylight is really cut short. Summer would be better, of course, because you can walk to your heart's content, but the heat, the crowds, that just is not the experience I'm looking for. So there you have it in a nutshell, the route that I'm choosing, why, when I'm going, and why. If you have any questions for me, please hit me up, or any tips or feedback. I'd love to hear about it. Reaching out via the cyber world is all new to me, and I hope you look forward to hearing more and more about my journey. And for now, I wish you a buen camino.